Hello, Gina. How are you? I was getting everything set up for my, so I'd show it on Stamp Crazy VIP and Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes. Hi, Diane. How are you? You're up bright and early. You are up bright and early. Hope I got all my stuff cut. This card has a lot of pieces to it. And I am a little bit crazy over what I was doing. I forgot a piece of paper, I think. Don't know where it's at. See if I got one over here. I tell ya, you think you're ready and you're not. I have a scrap. I'm good. I have a scrap piece. I'm good. Good, good, good. Hi, Marion. I'm Vicky. Let everybody take a minute to get on. Do our card. How's everybody doing? Trying to straighten out my thing. My cat's asleep today on my table with her feet across my work area. Can't wait to see what I'm making today. It's a quilt card, which, yeah, I got it. I'm going to do a bookbinding quilt card with all the new in colors. Well, not all of them, but I'm working on, it's all in colors. Oh no, he broke his collarbone. That's, you know, my brother, when he was little, he broke his collarbone and he got chicken pox in under the cast. So they casted it back then and he got chicken pox under it. I remember him talking about, he's older than me. I don't even know if I was born yet, but he always talks about him breaking his collarbone. But he was doing something he wasn't supposed to. He climbed up a fire escape on a school building and decided to try to jump off of it. Crazy kid. I like quilt cards too. This one's very subtle as far as the quilt looking part of it, but it's just using squares and it's awful. I know, Gina. I laugh at him though when he talks about it now because he's almost 79 years old and he did it. I forget how old he said he was, maybe 6. I don't know. I'm not seeing other comments either unless I refresh, but I'm seeing them on my phone right now because I don't have my phone tilted the other way. And I don't know why it's doing that. I have to refresh. And then it brings up all these little pop-ups and then I have to go back and it's crazy. But when you said that, I looked and I wasn't seeing them either. And I don't know what that is about that. I looked last week to see if there was anything I had to change that your sister broke your collarbone, Mary. That's not nice. It says I can manage my video while it's live, so I wonder if it could tell me about, doesn't say anything about comments. That's crazy. I don't know what this is about. Facebook keeps changing stuff so much that you just can't you just can't do nothing about it. I don't know what it is. As mad as they make me, I feel like I still need it though. You have to laugh when you look back at that stuff, don't you? Because at least we lived through stuff that happened back then. So anyway, can you believe that the end of this week is already May? We are almost 5 months into this new year, and it seems like it just started. Oh my goodness. I don't know where the time has gone. Anyway, I looked at the Tuesday updates for Stampin' Up! That we as demonstrators can get to do and see what they're telling us is either coming up or whatever. And I do want to tell you that on May 2nd, they're offering 20% off of select memory keeping products. Now, it didn't show what the products are, but it just said that there'll be 20% off that day on those. And that's May 2nd, so that's Saturday. Another thing is they have a new, starting May 5th, they're going to have a new starter kit promotion. And for $99, you get your $125 worth of stuff that you get to pick out. That's usually the standard starter kit. But you can add for free the new In Color Stampin' Up! Pads. You would get the 5 In Color Stampin' Up! Pads for free. Or you can pick out an extra $35 in product. So that's going to go on from May 5th to the end of May, May 31st. And then the new product of the month that will be coming out May 1st, well, it'll probably be May 5th when everything else comes out, is it's called Berry Botanical Vellum. So what it showed, didn't say how many pieces, but it's 12 by 12, and it is printed vellum with stuff to go with berries. And so it's a summery vellum pack. So I wanted to tell you guys that because I did remember to look those up this morning in all of my chaos. I have to tell you once again, I have it halfway done, is my PDF, because last night during all of the storms, if you live around me, I had no internet till like 5:30 this morning. It said it popped back up. I wasn't up at 5:30 to see that, but it said that's when it popped back up. So last night after about 9:30, I couldn't do anything on my computer as far as the internet and stuff. So couldn't get my pictures uploaded, couldn't get this and that done. So I started it this morning. It's not quite done. I'm going to finish it hopefully as soon as this is done, because I plan on staying down here a lot today if I can, unless my husband disrupts me wanting to do something. But he's very tired today. He planted flowers and did yard work and everything yesterday, so he's tired, which I hate that he's tired, but I'm glad he's tired and might not want to go nowhere. So does that make sense? That's how we are. That's how us women are. Okay. With all that being said, you can still get the embossing folder or the die that I used in Saturday's video if you didn't see that card. It's with the intricate die called Eyelet Blooms die, and that's with the $75 order. It's $5, and that was April. That's April's product of the month. And I made a really cute card on Saturday's video. If you got to see that, great. If not, I will show it to you because that was a great die cut. So anyway, I'm going to turn my camera down and I'm going to show you my card. We are going to do it, and with Moxie's feet in our way. Her little feet will be in our way. There her is. She's sleeping. She must have had a rough night last night. I kept her up late. She kicks my camera though. Let me see how this looks in the camera once it gets down there. So, Moxie's sleeping. I'm going to refresh my page as I wait on that to get all back to normal. This is crazy to have to do this. Well, Brenda, you didn't miss anything. We just talked about some news. Any news on new product of the month? Yeah, I just said that. And you probably heard it right when you was writing that. It's going to be vellum. Printed vellum. So here's my card. And it's I got very subtle embossing folder on it. but it opens up like a bookbinding card. And these are the new in colors. This is your Barely Blush here with your Peaceful Pine, your Crisp Cantaloupe, all of this paper, and I'm going to show it to you. This whole pack is all the colors of the new in colors, and I'm going to use a different color for the card I'm doing now, so you can see another one. And this is the Peaceful Pine ribbon that you can get. So that is what is I'm refreshing again, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna, you can't even speak to anybody at Facebook, so we're all on our own. Let me get this paper and I'm going to show it to you. It's called Bloom Boutique, and the colors is it's Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Hydrangea Hue, Peaceful Pine, and then gold, because there's gold inlay in the cards. So let me show you. I just have one of each piece here so that are still intact. So here are here's the flower sides. There's this one, and then we're going to use this one for the card I'm making today. So there's that, and then the back side is Crisp Cantaloupe. We're going to use that today too. So there's that one. This is blue with a tiny fleck of gold in it. That's the Hydrangea Hue with the Peaceful Pine on the back. And that's the Peaceful Pine's what's on the card you just saw. Then here is this, these all have gold in them. There's that with the gold with a Hydrangea Hue background on the back. This is the one that's on the card you saw, and that has a Peaceful Pine background. This one does not have any gold in it. And then the other side is flowers with the gold in it. So that's a two, and this, I love this one. I love greens. Love, love, love greens. And then this one too does not have any gold on this side, but it does on this side over here. And this is the background, is all that golden glow. So that is the papers that is in that Bloom Boutique set. And it's really, and that is actually comes in a bundle. They have it comes in a suite. And I'll show you the stamps that go with it real quick if I can find it. It's called Boutique Blossoms, and this goes with those. So, isn't that pretty? But we're not using that today. We're just using the paper because I love the paper. So I'm going to tell you my measurements. I already have that part of my PDF done. I just have to write out what you lay down and as you stack it, because it all is stacked on top of each other, and it's kind of crazy. So what we're going to use for this card, we're going to use the Hydrangea Hue cardstock. It's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So that way when we fold it, that's a bookbinding card, because you glue this part down, okay? This card's really easy to do it this way because you can keep your squares in good measurements without having to go 8ths and 16ths and whatevers and whatevers. And we're also going to use the Golden Glow as our background on here because our paper has Golden Glow in it. So I have 3 of these. And how these go is I am going to build my card on one of them and then cut it down to 4 by 4. That way if I have it off a little bit, then I can cut that down and then glue it on here, and it makes it sturdier. And then I have one of these for the inside with a piece of white that's going to go in here right here when we get to that. Okay, so we're going to set these aside for now. And we do have this. This is cut in 8ths. This is 1 1/8 by 4. And this is, no, this is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. And this is 1 by 4. And that's going to go there for here. I'm not going to glue that right yet, though. I'm going to move all of this out of the way because what we are going to do is this part. But let me show you the inside of the card here. So that has the Barely Blush, which matches this because it just ties in and you can stamp on it really, really well. And I like that idea. So, you know, that works out good. Here are my... I don't know what is the world is wrong with the... Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. A lot of people here today. Okay, so let's set this to the side. We're going to build, okay? What I have here that we're going to build on, our first layer is 2 by 2 pieces. And that's why I said it is really, really nice to be able to work with what's going to be an actually 4 by 4 piece, because then we have good measurements. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and I'm going to, even though this is cut 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, I'm going to start over in my corner. Hello, cat. You're moving the camera. Stop. She had to turn over. There she goes. Watch her. Good old Moxie. So anyway, then you just decide, but this paper is really not directional because the flowers are going every which way, which is okay. So what I want to do is I want to take this, and where I had, this is just plain cardstock here, I'm using printed papers, okay? So, you can see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just... And like I said, I'm going to go over in this corner and line it up with this side, and that way I only have 2 sides to cut when I trim this down to make sure it all looks even. And then I'm going to make sure which direction I want these to go. Do I want it to go sideways or do I want it to go up and down? I think I want up and down. So what I'm going to do is just go around the card. I'm going to line these up, and I'm going to have an edge over here, but remember we're going to trim everything to make it straight. Make everything straight. So now I'm going to come in with this one, and I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to put it that way. As long as it's down. I saw this card on Pinterest and I loved it, and there was no directions, there was nothing to it, so I was like, had to figure out the paper. Wasn't sure what she did because I couldn't tell, but doing bookbinding cards, you know, I could figure out that measurement because I've done those before. And so, then I had to decipher. I could do the 2 by 2, but then I had to figure out all the rest of them, which was crazy. But I got it done. Now, if you have some overlap or whatever, because that's not going to show, we got a lot going in here. So now I have my 2 by 2s down. You want me to bring that in just a little bit closer? I can bring that down. So now I can bring in these pieces that are 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, okay? And they are going to go here and here, okay? Let's see if that one looks better turned. It does. Okay. So I'm going to glue these two down. It took me forever to figure this out. I was like, I am bound and determined to make this card because I liked it so much. And I thought, well, that's my inspiration. So we're going to have these. They go right in here. Whoops. So then what I'm going to bring in, I still have two more 1.5 by 1.5, and they are going to go in here. Okay, so we're bringing in our other color. So does it look hard to you? I hope not. Yeah, Vicky, I was, I do like figuring out cards. But when this had all these squares, and I thought, now I really have to make it look like borders and get them to match up. I'm not really a quilter, so I can quilt on paper though. So now we're going to put this one right here, and you just butt these up into the center is what you're doing. Okay, so now I have my two pieces on, which is like these two pieces. Now I have two of these to put on. So here they are, and they are cut 1 by 1 to go in here. This is what I said. I had a hard time really making sure that I got these to fit, but I did. Do I think that they're her sizes? I'm not real sure. I saw two different cards. One looked easier than the other, but they were the exact same card. Does that make sense? And it was because of the paper they used. And I'll explain that in just a second as soon as I make sure I get this one on right. But it's not like quilting on fabric. You can't, we have room for mistakes in here just a little bit more. Good thing. Where's my other one of these? Did I lose one on the floor? If not, I'm going to have to cut one. Where'd it go? Don't know. Unless I left it late. It might be inside my card. So I've got to make sure I get all these little, looks like plus signs going the right way. So we have all of those on there. I'm missing one of these because I need 3 of these. Let me see if it's in the mixture of all my stuff over here. And if not, that's okay because there's probably one cut laying over on this table where I cut everything. And I don't see one cut, but my paper I was cutting with is right here. So let's just cut one. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of these, and they are going to butt up against those 2 1" by 1" that we put in there to make that square. Okay? I'm not done with it yet, Gail. Don't jump to conclusions. So let's put, no, you do. Not that you're going to show a whole lot, but okay, there's my 1 by 1 there. You can make a lot of cards out of this paper, though, doing this because you're cutting everything so small. Okay, here's where we're going to cheat this one. This one I'm just going to overlay right here. And I want it to go this way. So I'm just going to try to center that in there and overlay it, because this was probably my cheating part right here, because I didn't want to cut all those little bitty guys. So I thought I can just put this in the center. It's not centered. I'll pull it up. You could take a pencil line and actually mark this if you wanted to, but I'm not doing that. And then I have these little 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pieces that are going to go in my corners. What do you think so far? So now what I'm going to do is put this up in the top corner of this one. And then this one will be in the opposite corner and make those look like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pieces. Because I wasn't going to try to fit all of these on there. Okay, we have all that on there, and you see I have this, and I have a little imperfection right here, so I'm going to cut this to 4x4. I'll be right back. So when you get that cut to your 4x4, it looks a whole lot nicer. Okay, so there's that part. Now let's put it on the card. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this golden glow and we're going to put it on here because it matches these little flowers. And here you don't see a whole lot of them, but it's all going to work out okay. Let me make sure I don't have to trim that down anymore. I can see once I got it on there that I didn't trim that one quite far enough. So let's do that. Probably because I didn't have it on the 4 mark very good. Now, there we go. I like that better. So I'm going to take and just glue this down. Oh, my glue done one. Oh, goodness. My glue had a glue glob. Oh, I didn't want to do that yet, guys. You know why? What'd I do? We're going to wipe that off. I have to do it on my embossing folder. It's like, no, Rita, no, not yet. That's why my glue glob did that. So I'm just going to wipe my glue off. What's a little bit of glue? So this is what you do when you put your glue on there wrong. So I'm going to take that, and I ran it through the, we don't have a lot of embossing folders that's going to be left. But I'm going to bring this in so you guys can see. Ugh. So I'm just going to put this in my embossing folder. And I'm using the one that's kind of subtle. I really want the focus to be on the paper, not on the quilting part of it. So I just used my number 1 and my number 4 plate. It went through with all the layering. It worked fine. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm holding it up close to see if you can see the embossing on there. And hopefully you can. Marion, why would I think to use wax paper on the back? That, you know me. I am like what my mama used to say. She'd say, Rita Jean, you're like a fart in a whirlwind. And I was like, Mom, be nice to me. Because she loved to tell me that, because that's probably basically what I was back when I was little. So now I'm going to put it in. So now let's glue it again. And we have a little bit of we just have a small edge around our paper. And I want to trim the one edge because it's not as tall as the other ones. Watch me get it too short. Jeez. Let me see. It says it's straight. There we go. Looks better. So now we're going to put it on our card. It's going to go right here on our card. We'll embellish it as soon as we get the other part done. This card takes a little longer than what I usually do, but that's because it's got more going on, but it's all stuff you guys can handle, right? Right. Have all the confidence in the world in you. You all are good stampers, and okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some ribbon out, and I'm going to do exactly what I did on the first one. And I am going to use, I haven't even opened it yet, the Hydrangea Hue. As soon as I can get my scissors under there to make a little cut. So, and that matches my paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull me out some ribbon. Make sure I have enough though. So I'll cut that. And I gotta turn this sideways to me because that's the only way I can work. I don't know, I'm a sideways person. So let's just take I have such big fingers. I need smaller fingers. Okay, now I'm just going to pull that, and you see it's a little bit loose there. So is my other one. Let me trim these up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to take a piece of tape, just a piece of, you're going to hear my dryer beep 1,000 times because I'm not up there to, I have a new dryer, and it doesn't just beep once and tell you it's done, it'll keep beeping until you get in there and fold your clothes. So I just tape that down. And we have that right there. Now we're going to decorate it. And, well, first, let's take, I got this scrap. We are going to emboss, heat emboss, happiest what's it say? Happiest birthday wishes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of this. Where did my... Are you laying on my thingamajiggy, girl? You probably are. It's probably on my filter thing, because I don't see it. I should probably got it. I'm going to use paper towel. We're not looking. When in a pinch, use paper towel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. And I'm going to use gold embossing powder to bring out the gold that's in the... So I just want to stamp this, and I'm going to stamp it over here because I'm going to cut it out. So I made sure all the ink was on there. It says happiest birthday wishes. We're going to take the gold embossing powder. And I didn't use the embossing buddy because I always forget about that. So I want to make sure I get all the little pieces off, even though I'm going to. Now, paper towels do not get it out, all of the embossing powder out like a coffee filter, but when in a pinch, that's what you do. Okay, let's heat emboss that. Let's get the embossing powder off of here. You know how you do that, don't you? You just take this and you roll it, and it gets it off. There we go. So now we're going to use our heat gun. I'm going to let it heat up for a second. And I'm just going to bring it in and there it goes. Can you see it? It's all heated up. So if you let your heat gun just heat up a little bit before you start putting it to your sentiment or whatever you're embossing, it doesn't take as long for it to do its thing. Okay, now I'm going to cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this down this way. I don't want all that paper in my way. So I'm just going to cut this out. Floyd's folding my clothes so my dryer doesn't keep beeping. Wasn't that nice? He's a good guy. I'll keep him. I would say that after 54 years, nobody else would want him, but if they heard that he did dishes and did laundry, they would probably want him. So, I can't give that part up. I like for him to help. Huh? This is my helper. I'm still not allowed to do some things with my arms with my surgery, so he does help quite a bit. Don't want that corner like that. There we go. Okay, so now I have this ready to go on my card, which I'm just going to put it down here again, and I'm going to use some little dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 on there since it's small and I want it to stand up. So we have 3 of those. And then we're going to do our inside. So you can put this anywhere. I kind of liked it down here because then it didn't hide most of the paper. So we have that, and then I'm going to take these embellishments, and I think I'm going to use well, let's use the peach. I haven't used a lot of those. I've been using these, so just trying to even out my colors here on what I do use. So let's put, I like that in the center to kind of finish my center off. And then I think we'll put 2 down there. Now let's do the inside, and we're going to stamp these sayings. They're from the Phrases and Frames. They have inside outside sayings. So I did happiest birthday wishes, and then for the inside we're going to do may your day be filled with love and happiness. So I'm just going to ink this up really good. One thing about these pads, you can do the twist to make sure you get ink on all of your raised, like this is a sentiment, so it's all on the raised letters. And then I can just do that right here. Tell you what, this is one of everybody's favorite new color, is the hydrangea hue. So I'm just going to glue that here. So I added a lot of extra to my card, but I think the card was worthy of a lot of extra. And I'm going to refresh here. I forgot to do that. Come on. Forgot what I was doing. Yeah, I like that. The sayings. Oh, I got to. First, forgot to glue my sides together. So I'm just going to glue this together. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my ribbon. I just want all that to hold down right here. And now, when I open that, then I can put this in. And what I did on the other one is I added 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper. I didn't cut those for this, but I'm going to put those in there before I send it out. So that's basically the card, and I'll have a couple pieces like this on the inside to match these. So this one has cardstock, you know, where this one's done with all printed papers. So, you know, it depends on what design, how you like it and stuff. This one with the cardstock, I think, looks simpler, although they are done the exact same way, because it's not quite as busy. But if you use things that's not real, everything that's not real busy, I think, you know, you got it made. So anyway, that is my card today. So what do you think? It is. Vicki, I'm glad you got your postage stamps. That's good. So So I hope you guys like the card. I'm trying to see comments again, but you know how that goes with this. They just don't like to, I don't know what. We all need to boycott Facebook, but I just can't do it. You know how you can boycott some things that doesn't bother you? I think Facebook would bother me. So addicted to stuff. So this paper, all the products will be available May 5th. If you're a demonstrator, you can go ahead. If you haven't ordered it, you could go ahead and order it. But it's one of the nicer papers, and it's one that is geared towards just new in colors, which I like that, so that you can see the difference in them and that. So there we go. That's my card. A little bit different, you guys. I mean, it does have flowers on it, but it's a quilt card. It's not just a flower card. And you could use a more vibrant embossing folder for the quilt part of it, but I wanted the papers to show, not just the quilting. I do too. I like the darker contrast with them. I think you need to bring in the darker color. So this was a fun card. I hope you all try it. I will get that PDF. I'm going to work on it just as soon as I shut this video down, because I really want that to be out there. But you know, you're using 2-inch, 1.5 inch, 1 inch, and 1/2 inch squares. And then this piece, which is 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. So, but everything else is really pretty good, even measurements. So there you go. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm planning on it. After all the storms last night, we had water in our dining room. We've never had that. Floyd's in bed. It's 12:30 at night, and I'm like sitting on the couch hearing drip, drip, drip. I thought, that sounds like it's in the dining room. So I went in there, and of course you look up at the ceiling. I don't see anything. Well, I could see where it was splashing, and I thought my curtain should be wet. Curtain wasn't wet because it's by the window. And I looked, and it was coming in through at the window sill, at the window in the corner. And I think it was hitting those windows. And I think it was just raining so fast it built it up, and it just didn't have anywhere to go real fast. And it went, by the time I found it, it was all the way across to the other side of the room, under the table and everything. So 12:30 last night, I'm getting bath towels out to lay down so I can at least get the water up off of the floor, because I have laminate flooring. And got it all up. I stuffed a hand towel into the corner of the window seal where it was coming in. I piled some towels up down in case it splashed down there. If it did run, it would catch it, and I went to bed. I was tired. And anyway, it didn't soak up anything else, so evidently it finally settled down and was good. But that's the first time we've had any water come in our house like that, and we've lived here almost 26 years. I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to wake Floyd up. And I thought, no, I can do it. So, anyway, if I wouldn't have found where it was coming in at, I would have got Floyd up, because I didn't want water all over the place by the time we got up in the morning. But anyway, that was our little thing with the crazy storms last night. So you guys have a great day. Be creative when you can. If you make a card, please post it. These are fun cards to do. I like the book binding for one thing, and I like the squares. I just love all the squares of paper. That's what drew it to me. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and I will see you, well, hopefully tomorrow you will be and watch What's Up Wednesday, which I don't know what's up Wednesday. It's not Wednesday yet. It's not close enough to Wednesday for me to feel like what's up. I'm just going to enjoy my day today and get some things done. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.